information. Now this information is dead on accurate and you will see when it does get announced. This is coming from an anonymous source who was disappointed with Activision's lack of a presence at E3 this year and wanted to give the community something to talk about. There is a lot of information within this video. This information has all been verified with people who have already played Modern Warfare early at E3 and other early events, but have signed NDAs but were willing to confirm / deny information. I will put my life on this information being true. This is very accurate. By the way, I tried to brainstorm as many different questions as I possibly could to find out about Modern Warfare's multiplayer, and I did ask on Twitter about questions too that you wanted answering. However, obviously I'm sure I've missed stuff out, so let me know in the comment section down below. Is there anything that you want answering about Modern Warfare's multiplayer, campaign, or the Spec Ops mode? And I will try and get that answered for you guys. So let me know in the comment section down below and I will ask this person for you. Obviously he can't answer everything, but hopefully we are able to find out some more information that way. I know there's still maybe a lot of people doubting this information. I know I have gotten some things wrong with leaks in the past, but I am only human and I apologize. Sometimes leaks can just get muddled up, but I do have a pretty strong track record with leaking Gorod Krovi, DLC 5, Attack of the Radioactive Thing, Black Ops 3 Snowblind event, Gorostan House, etc, and I am telling you, this is probably one of the best sources I have gotten. That's all I'll say. Before I get into the new information about the new modes and everything like that, I asked my source first of all regarding 8thoughts' recent video in which he detailed a ton of Modern Warfare leaked multiplayer information, and I asked him specifically about this and he went through the video and broke everything down for me, because 8thoughts, although his information was actually correct, I know a lot of people on Reddit and stuff like that thought he was trolling and didn't think his information was genuine. He does actually have a genuine source. So yeah, a lot of people thought that 8thoughts was trolling because he has made a lot of trolling videos in the past, such as pretending that he played Modern Warfare early months ago, but he is being genuine this time around. First things first, at 1:07 within his video, he points out the images that were displayed at E3 that were supposedly in-game images of Modern Warfare. He said that they are probably just renderings, paintings / drawings, etc, but my source has said no, this is exactly what the game is looking like right now. He said the rays, the smoke effects, the particles are all there in game. The images were taken from the PC version. Graphics were set to maximum. These two images really show what the game is going to look like. Hell, even the Juggernaut picture is taken from in-game, because you can see a texture scene where the wall model meets the broken wall model. The broken wall model is a slightly lighter texture. Now within 8thoughts video, he said that the lean mechanic is going to be within the game and that will be within multiplayer and within the campaign. This, according to my source, is indeed true as well. You can take cover from just about any horizontal object that ranges from heights of your chest to your knees. You can also take cover behind vertical covers too. Think of like a wooden crate you can lean on top of, or you can lean to the sides. Within 8thoughts video, he also said that you are able to reload whilst aiming down sights too. And my source also confirmed that this is indeed true, but currently it is very buggy within the game, but it does work to an extent, and it will probably be neatened up by the time that the game does release. Now within 8thoughts video, he said that there's going to be a chemical strike, which is going to be a kill streak within the game. According to my source, the name for the chemical strike is called White Phosphorus. You basically pull out a tablet of the map, select a straight line of where it goes through the map like a rolling thunder, and then a plane will drop 5 burning chemical canisters on the ground along that line. These canisters basically work like Molotovs. If you hit enemies on the impacts, they will die. Enemies can also run into these canisters emitting the chemicals and die. The biggest thing about the kill streak is that it covers a huge radius, meaning anyone caught around the drop zone will have to run through a big dome of smoke that damages enemies. It'll drop their health down to super low, but will not directly kill them. The worst thing about this kill streak is that you can't really counter it. Unlike with the UAV, you can shoot it down. The plane that flies goes by really fast, so you almost have no chance to shoot it down. It's a pain in the ass. Now within 8thoughts video, he confirmed that the chopper gunner is returning as a streak. My source also said that this is legit, and obviously the Juggernaut was confirmed at E3 too. Now within 8thoughts video, he did also say that there is no default minimap. And I have further information about this that has never been heard before. So obviously the Chinese leaker Victor over on Twitter leaked this a while ago, but you will only get a mini-map when you call in a personal UAV, which is a small remote chopper that flies above your location and pings enemies around you, or a UAV, just a standard UAV, which is a classic flying drone that scans the map, or the advanced UAV, which scans the map for enemies and allies and shows the direction they are facing on the minimap. So there are 3 different types of UAVs within this game. Usually we just get a standard UAV and an advanced UAV, but no, we have 3 different UAVs within this game. Now within 8thoughts video, he said that the multiplayer will be more of a tactical shooter where the gameplay will be slowed down. However, according to my source, he thinks that 8thoughts has misinterpreted or has just put a cynical take on the information that he was provided. According to my source, the gameplay is still going to be the typical fast-paced Call of Duty shooting. In fact, he has given me some exclusive information about a new sprint mechanic that is apparently within the game. So there's a super sprint ability. You click sprint twice and you will hustle really fast for maybe 3 seconds. There is also a perk that you can equip that triples the duration of super sprint, which is one of his favorite perks within the game. The downside to super sprinting is that it'll take a long time to go from sprinting to aiming down sight. Walking to aiming down sight is quick, running to aiming down sight is a bit of a delay, and super sprint is like suicide if someone meets up with you unexpectedly. So although it seems like it'll be quite overpowered, there is a downside to it, so it is balanced. So now that I've gotten that out of the way, let's jump into the brand new Modern Warfare information now that I've just cleared up everything that 8thoughts said within his video. I know some people were worrying because 8thoughts put a bit of a negative spin or a cynical look on his Modern Warfare information, so hopefully my source has clarified a lot of what he said. So Pig-10 is not returning within the multiplayer, and they are having a new creator class system. According to my source, with the Pig-10 system being gone, it's more like a Pig-5 than a Pig-10, and you will have 1 slot of lethals and 1 slot for tacticals. You will be able to choose up to 3 different perks. Almost all of them are passive. You could have a combination of a perk that allows you to hold 2 primary weapons instead of a primary and a secondary, and one that lets you carry an extra lethal equipment, and one to hide you from UAVs and targeting systems. He said that he can recall most of the perks, so in category 1 there's around 6 perks, in category 2 there's around 6 perks, in category 3 there are 4 perks, and he'll shed more light on this later on, because as I was saying, he doesn't want to give away all of the perks at this moment in time because they are still subject to change, and he doesn't want to spread false information. And he did also say that he doesn't want to spoil that because he thinks that it's too big of a thing to be spoiled. He just wants to give the community something to talk about, but he doesn't want to spoil everything about the game, if you get what I mean. In terms of the multiplayer game modes, the ones that I have confirmed is obviously Team Deathmatch is returning, Domination is returning, Search and Destroy is returning, but there is a new game mode called Cyber Attack. It's like Search and Destroy, but you are able to revive teammates. There is also a gunfight mode, which is a 1v1 or a 2v2 game mode where you're put onto small maps where everyone uses the same random loadouts, but this switches every 2 rounds. The winner is the first to 6 wins. This is what the NFL players apparently got to play recently when they were invited to a private showcase. As you guys know, recently some NFL players got to play Modern Warfare's multiplayer early. He said that there's also going to be a headquarters mode, which is basically King of the Hill. Don't mistake this with Battle Royale, by the way. This is actually a game mode that we've not seen for quite some time. That was in some of the old Call of Duty games, and apparently this is back. This is where teams capture a set point in the map, the headquarters, to gain points. It offers experience per time that the headquarters is held, allowing for larger sums of points earned. Teams must coordinate a steadfast and solid defense perimeter around a captured headquarters in order to hold it. He said he does not know all the gun names. Most of them are using codenames in-game anyways at this moment in time, and they don't have the actual gun names, but apparently assault rifles will have the most in the group, then SMGs, then shotguns, but that's pretty much the same with any Call of Duty anyways. At the moment, it doesn't seem like machine gun pistols will be returning. He also wanted to clarify regarding Pick-10 not returning. He said that the creator class for weapons will have up to 5 attachments per weapon, and you'll be able to customize the barrel attachments, the optics, the rear end attachments such as stocks, handles, triggers, grips, and extra categories that will give your weapon a perk, so it will give a special ability to your weapon. He said that the attachments drastically change your guns way more than previous years. The attachments are a very big part of this game, and they are pretty much going to be the most important thing for your creator class. He went on to elaborate about the fact that you can add one perk apparently to your gun, and apparently a lot of guns within the game will have 2 different firing modes, mostly single shot and either full/semi-automatic, that you'll be able to change by attaching different attachments to change the firing mode, but this is mainly for the sake of accuracy/recoil. Now, I did also ask my source about the main menu for Modern Warfare, and he's actually given me a rough sketching of what the menu looks like. Now, obviously he cannot show the menu itself, this is just a rough sketching, but he did say that currently the menu is still in revision, so it's still being worked on, so it may be a slightly different by the time the game releases, but this is what the main menu looks like and the general template that they have right now. And then for the campaign, this is what the general menu looks like over here, so you can select the different missions, and then here is what the multiplayer menu looks like, and then finally here is what the custom private matches look like within the multiplayer. Now, I did also ask my source about theater mode, and he said that he does not think it is returning. However, it might be in the works, but it's probably not likely. As for the maps, he's not 100% sure if past maps are returning, but there are 3 different types of maps: big maps, medium maps, and small maps, and there is going to be a wide range of all of them, so hopefully they balance that right. I feel like within recent Call of Duties, it's usually just been mainly small and medium maps. Usually medium maps are pretty much all we see nowadays. We don't get to see many large maps. Now, he went on to give information about the kill streaks. He says that he does know the majority of the kill streaks, but he does not want to spoil the majority of them, and he said that apparently the Juggernaut is returning. We already know this was confirmed at E3, obviously we got an image of that. However, he said that this is apparently the most expensive kill streak in the game and is even higher than the AC-130, so yes, the AC-130 is back too. He said as for the equipment, he says that the smoke grenade, the concussion, the flash, and the flash grenades are returning. The trophy system is also returning, but will be now part of a rechargeable skill that you can customize to your class. So you will have rechargeable skills now for your creator class. And as for the lethal grenades, the C4, the frag grenades, and the Semtexes are returning. And there is also a new one that is apparently a pressure sensitive mine, and he did also confirm that the nuke is returning in some sort of form, so I don't know whether that's going to be a Moab or something like that. He just said that it's returning, and that's all he gave me information about. So in terms of the creator class, it's going for a way more traditional style creator class that's way more similar to Call of Duty 4, as opposed to the more up-to-date Pick-10 that we've seen with pretty much every single Call of Duty of recent years. Now, in terms of further information, he said in terms of the guns, he doesn't have much information about the guns so far, as I was saying earlier, but in terms of the number of guns, he says that there are 30 plus guns that the game will launch with, and this ranges from sniper rifles to rocket launchers, etc. He said as for maps, he has no idea what is being included for DLC and what is going to be in the game at launch, so he cannot give a number for how many maps the game will launch with. But in terms of the DLC, he has no idea what is going on right now in terms of the DLC. He says right now some weapons within the game might end up being DLC maps or DLC weapons, so he's a bit confused because they still have not decided on that. He said that some form of supply drops will be returning, but right now it's barely just being included into the game, and it's super bare bones at the moment. This was obvious that we would see supply drops in this game, but he said that the development isn't really that far in terms of that, so that's probably going to be the last thing they do and perfect before the game releases. We will probably see some sort of battle pass tier system that we've seen within Black Ops 4 too. I'm assuming, we don't have information from this person in particular, but that's what prior leaks have been saying. He said that the multiplayer will be 6v6 for pretty much all of the main modes. Obviously, we have confirmed that Ground War is apparently in the game that will be 10v10. Now I asked him about camos in terms of special camos such as gold camo, diamond camo, dark matter, etc, etc, and he said that he doesn't have much information on camos at the moment because this is bare bones at the moment, which means, as I was saying, they haven't really developed much in terms of the camos. This is probably going to be one of the last things that they are left to perfect. They are just perfecting the gameplay right now. Camos will be the last thing they start working on as we move closer to launch, but the game is only 4 months away though, so I guess if they're only just starting on working on the camos, that'll probably be something that is perfected in the couple months leading up to launch, once they've got the gameplay and the weapons balance and stuff like that. Now I asked him about the melee in terms of whether it'll be a huge lunge like we've seen within some Call of Duties, or whether there won't be much lunge. I also asked him if it'll be 1 hit to kill or if it'll be 2 hits, because in recent Call of Duties, ever since Black Ops 3, it was 2 hits to kill for melees, whereas prior CODs it was just 1 hit, and he said he's honestly not sure right now. There is a lot of tweaking going into the melee. It's being worked on, so nothing is concrete on whether or not you'll lunge or how many hits it takes to kill a person, or if it's just 1 hit to kill from the back. So right now he doesn't have any definitive information. Obviously everything he is detailing it is subject to change. The game is still 4 months away. A lot will be changed in that time. That is why he has not given much information about the weapons or the score streaks, because he is worried that if he gives information away, stuff might change by the time that the game launches, and he doesn't want to give away false information. He said that you are able to equip a knife as a secondary and just run around knifing people. Now I did ask about the Spec Ops mode, and he doesn't have too much information. Now he gave me really similar information to the Chinese leaker Victor over on Twitter. He said that the Spec Ops mode is really unfinished right now, and the multiplayer and the campaign is what they're mainly focusing on. They're treating the Spec Ops mode as sort of a secondary mode. However, he does believe that over the next month or so, they will be finishing up the final touches on the multiplayer and the campaign, so possibly in the 2 months leading up to Modern Warfare releasing, they will manage to finish the Spec Ops mode and get it ready for launch, but right now it is still far off being finished. Now I'm sure they will launch with the Spec Ops mode. There's no way the game's just going to launch and it's not going to be ready, but we'll just have to wait and see. But he did say, he said there's a 4-player cooperative mission where each person chooses a different class, meaning they had a special ability that is only exclusive to them, and this is similar to what previous leaks were saying, that the operators within multiplayer obviously are going to have no effect on gameplay, but they apparently will within the Spec Ops mode. And apparently this mission is somewhat lengthy and a lengthy map, and you need to cooperate to solve puzzle-based elements, and it's a lot of fun. And a lot of people have been wondering whether survival mode is going to be returning. So I asked him whether survival mode is going to be returning, and he says that he thinks it may be planned, but he has not seen it just yet. So he thinks it's in the works, but he doesn't have any concrete details, unfortunately. Captain Price is featured within the Spec Ops mode in some way, but he is not a playable character. You'll be playing as the operators from the multiplayer, but the campaign characters are still going to be part of the missions, but they will sort of just be aiding you along the mission. They won't actually be playable, because the Spec Ops story continues directly on from the campaign.